In 2019, the disappearance of two young kids sparked a nationwide search before their bodies were discovered months later. The mother of the two kids was later charged with murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. In this video, we take a look at the Doomsday Mom murder case and see what happened to the mother who killed her own kids. Stay tuned. The Doomsday Mom we're talking about in this video is none other than Lori Vallow Daybell, who killed her two kids, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow. After killing her sons, Lori buried the bodies on her husband's Idaho property. This July, Lori was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole, which is the minimum sentence in this case. In the weeks-long trial that stretched from April into mid-May, she was also found guilty of conspiracy in their murders and the murder of her husband Chad's first wife, Tammy Daybell, along with grand theft related to the theft of Social Security payments for the children. Lori received life sentences without parole on the charges of murder in the deaths of JJ and Tylee, and conspiracy to murder in the deaths of both children and Tammy Daybell, her ex-husband's first wife. 3 of those sentences are to be served consecutively. She received a sentence of 10 years for the grand theft conviction, and was also ordered to pay more than $60,000 in fines, civil penalties, and restitution. During the trial, Judge Stephen Boyce said this before he imposed the sentence. "You had so many other options. You could have gotten divorced. You could have found someone else to take care of those kids. And as the state was able to prove at trial, you chose the evilest and most destructive path possible. You justified all of this by going down a bizarre religious rabbit hole, and clearly you are still down there." During the trial, witnesses had testified that Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell had fringe religious beliefs. And Lori had discussed casting out demons and her belief that people had been replaced by evil spirits, referring to them as zombies. Lori did not testify in her defense. She did, however, give a statement after the hearing saying, "Jesus Christ knows the truth of what happened here. Jesus Christ knows that no one was murdered in this case." It looks like Lori is using religion as an excuse for her horrible actions, to say the least. Lori also claimed to have communicated with the spirits of her murdered children and her eternal friend, Tammy Daybell. Prosecutor Rob Wood had asked the court to sentence the 50-year-old Lori to life without parole, saying that society needs to be protected from a defendant who was willing to murder her own children. Defense attorney John Thomas asked the court to sentence Daybell to a fixed term of 20 years, with an indeterminate term of life for all 5 counts of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Besides being charged and sentenced for the murder of her kids, Lori was separately charged in the July 2019 death of her husband Charles Vallow, who was shot by her brother Alex Cox. Cox claimed he shot Vallow in self-defense and was not charged with the shooting. He died in December 2019 after the children had been reported missing, but before their bodies were found on Chad Daybell's property. Lori has been charged in Arizona with conspiracy to murder in his death. She has also been charged in Arizona with conspiracy for 2019 attempted shooting of Brandon Boudreaux, who was married to Lori's niece. Boudreaux testified in the Idaho trial. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office told CBS News in May it would begin extradition proceedings following her sentencing in Idaho. Lori's husband Chad Daybell also faces first-degree murder and conspiracy charges in Idaho, the deaths of Tammy Daybell and Vallow Daybell's children. But he waived his right to a speedy trial and is scheduled to be tried in April next year. Unlike his wife, he faces the death penalty. The two were not permitted to meet or coordinate their defense. During the court proceedings, Kay Woodcock, the biological grandmother of J.J. Vallow, could be heard weeping during her statement. She called Vallow Daybell a money-hungry, power-mongering monster. Woodcock said she would have given Lori Daybell the $1 million from Vallow's life insurance if she had let Tylee and JJ live. Instead, Woodcock said, she did not ask. Woodcock said Daybell was driven by greed and a need to be the center of attention. But what are your thoughts on Lori Vallow Daybell? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for this one. If you enjoyed watching this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you can see our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.